How's it going, Knights of the Round Table? My name is Knight Gamer Rex, and welcome to Higurashi When They Cry, also known as Higurashi no Korimi. And this is a game that I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time. If you haven't seen the anime, you should go and watch it. It's very dark, it's very gruesome and bloody. So if you are not into those types of animes, steer clear. So this is a visual representation of the anime or whatever. I believe this game was made before, and then they basically just revamped it, the graphics. So let's just get into it. It's kind of like Corpse Party. It's a lot like Corpse Party. Don't be sad. The world may not forgive you, but I do. Don't be sad. You may not forgive the world, but I forgive you. Tell me, what must I do to earn your forgiveness? Frederica Berncastel? This is a work of fiction, and a resemblance to actual persons or organizations. Coincidental. AD 1983, the summer of the 58th year. Oh God. If I was going to be ripped apart anyways, having my body ripped apart wouldn't have been far better. I trusted her. No, I still trust her. Even in this very moment, I trust her. But I'm starting to realize I only want to trust her because I confuse to accept the truth. If I was only trying to convince myself in such a silly sobbing voice, and those tears making a mess of my face. That mechanical, repetitious sound finally stilled and everything fell silent. Only the cry of the cicadas remained, annoyingly loud, and yet, I felt as if I could still hear her voice. But that's not possible. She is no longer speaking. The only one crying is me. She never cried. Even when she repeated those words over and over, she never expressed any emotion because there were none to show. If she had no tear to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. Then why? This pain, my eyes getting moist, why is this happening? I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. That's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispering gently. My spirit has suffered enough, and countless times I've wavered over whether I should just throw the battered thing away, except I've stubbornly refused to do that, haven't I? I feel better if I just threw it away. Even knowing that, I chose to believe, didn't I? Only I can understand that painful struggle and appreciate it. Hey, me? I've tried more than enough. I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it alright to just take the easy way out? Besides, I'm not throwing it away. I'm leaving it behind, with her, like flowers by a grave. Now then, calm your nerves. Enough. Even though you can't feel your right arm, just lift it up. And with every swing, forget a little more. That kindness made me happy. That adorable smile brought me joy. I liked petting your head. I loved how demure you were, because this will be the last time. Because when I swing this down, I'll forget. This is my first and last bouquet for you. Perhaps I really did love you. Higurashi, When They Cry. Okay. This is a lot like the anime, yeah. Somebody has been apologizing for a while now. I wonder what she's apologizing for. It felt wrong to eavesdrop, but I tried to ignore it. It had been a while since I last went to the city. I only returned to attend the funeral of a relative. Even though I'd lived there until last month, I found the bustle of the city to be overwhelming. Those skyscrapers and the multi-lane roads. The melodious cacophony of the crosswalk. Even the campaign speeches blaring in front of the station felt nostalgic. The place where I live now isn't nearly as lively. There's only the chirping of locusts and the babbling of brooks. And the cry of the Higurashi, the evening cicadas. Rather than making me feel lonely, that quietness had begun to instill a sense of serenity. There's nothing where I'm living now. I don't just mean there aren't any burger joints, there aren't even vending machines. No music stores, no restaurants, and no arcades. Even an ice cream parlor would be unlikely. The nearest town has some stuff like that, but it's an hour away by bike. But come to think of it, it wasn't really a big deal. There were music stores and arcades and ice cream parlors, but it wasn't like I've ever hung out at any of them. I'd lived in the city for 10 years and never once had I been to an ice cream parlor. I should have gone at least once. It's only now that I'm starting to regret that a little. Somebody is still apologizing. Who is she apologizing to? She has apologized so much, so just forgive her already. There is no reason anyone should ever need to apologize so much. I started to feel a bit annoyed at whatever was refusing to forgive her. No. No matter how bad the mistake, there's nothing that can be forgiven. There's no such thing as an irreparable mistake. You just need to be more careful next time. She's still apologizing, even now. Then, has she really done something that can't be fixed? I have no idea what she's done, but if it can't be fixed, then that's the more reason to forgive her. No matter how much she apologizes, nothing will change. But even so, she keeps apologizing in such a heartbreaking voice. Hey you, the one she's apologizing to. Why don't you just go ahead and forgive her? She's apologizing in such a pathetic voice. Kaichi, we're almost there. Wake up. I was finally roused from my nap by my father's prodding. It seems the train has reached its final stop. We'd spent hours riding from the bullet train to the local routes. It was hard to believe that the landscape beyond the window and the city I was in a half-day ago were in the same country. No, that they were even from the same area. From there, we could take a car deeper into the mountains. Past where the dense forest encroaching on the mountain road suddenly opened up. There, where I live now, Hina Misawa. Higurashi When They Cry. This game acts just like the anime. It's ridiculous. Even though we were approaching summer, the morning air still had a frigid bite. Although in exchange you could fill your lungs up with crisp, clean air. Flipping open the window, I was greeted with a verdant expanse. Nothing but trees. The neighboring houses were far away from each other on the other side, so I was probably the only one enjoying that view and that air. I filled my lungs with another deep breath. Since I started living in Hinamizawa, I learned that even air has its own taste. I quickly finished getting ready for school and headed downstairs for breakfast. My mother was the only one there. My father was nowhere to be seen. He was probably working until the early morning. Dad had a rather unconventional job as a painter. It's such a laid-back profession. Getting up when you want, sleeping when you want, and work when you want. I was so jealous of that easygoing lifestyle. I even wrote for school that I wanted to be a painter when I grew up. Dad was ecstatic about that. It was just because it looked easy. I'd never tell him that, though. Mom laid breakfast out on the table. Seaweed, pickled vegetables, raw egg, and grilled salmon. My mom was such a good cook, it was scary. A perfect, immaculate, ideal breakfast. Unlike my dad, who didn't even know the meaning of the word schedule, my mom never squandered any time or effort. She hummed a little tune as she brought over this miso soup. It seemed like she was in a good mood today. I've been so happy you've been waking up early since we moved here, Keiichi. If I don't wake up early, I won't have time to eat breakfast. I thought I was being cute, responding with a wisecrack after being praised for being good. Full bowl of rice, or will half be enough? Pile it on. First, I savored the steaming hot rice with the seaweed. After that, I covered it with the egg. Between bites of rice, I enjoyed the crunch of the pickles. Not bad at all. Excellent, as usual. Watching me clean my plate, Mom gave me a warm smile. I'm so happy you haven't skipped breakfast ever since we moved here, Keiichi. I was not a morning person when we lived in the city. I slept right until the last minute before school and rarely ate breakfast. Boycotting the breakfast Mom made me each morning. That was probably the only way I could protest being forced to attend cram school. I guess that was what you'd call my rebellious phase. I wouldn't so much as look as the breakfast she woke up at the breakfast she woke up every morning. She woke up early every day to make. Okay. If I could go back in time, I'd slap myself. Mindful of the time, Mom rushed me along with a wide grin. Isn't it about time you meet up with Reina-chan? Reina-chan? Hurry, hurry. Rina. Mom really seemed to enjoy the fact that her son was going to school with a girl. Reina was one of my classmates, Rina. She really loved looking after people, coming to meet me every day without fail. The way I looked at it, a guy my age walking to school with a girl was just lame. But, well, keeping a classmate waiting for me every day wouldn't be very considerate. Seriously though, how long does Reina wait there for me every morning? Taking one last gulp of miso soup, I raced for the door. Please thank Reina-chan for the pickles. Come to think of it, those pickles weren't store-bought, were they? If I'd known that, I would have savored them a bit more. Morning! Oh, you crazy bitch! She's crazy! She's insane! Oh, one of my favorite characters, but... You're gonna love her. You're gonna love the things she does. Keiichi-kun! Good morning! Your cheerful greeting was as fresh as the morning itself. You're always so early. You should try sleeping in sometime. If I sleep in, I'll keep you waiting. She's so conscientious, and such a good person. I have no idea how to pronounce that word. If that ever happens, I'll just leave you behind. Keiichi-kun, you're so cold. I wait for you all the time. I'll leave you in the dust, without looking back. Why are you so mean? Why? I don't know. Reina had a slightly troubled look on her face. Toying with her was rather fun because of how quickly her mood changed. I'm kidding, I'd wait for you. With those words, Reina seemed to relax. Her face flushed bright red. Thank you. I'd wait forever until you came, Reina. No matter how long. Forever? Reina turned bright red, steam rising from her head as her brain short-circuited. She's especially weak to this sort of talk. It's quite rare to find someone this fun to tease. Have you ever read a romance novel, Reina? Huh? I haven't. Never read any before. From that response, I gathered she was interested in them, but was too embarrassed to actually buy one. I couldn't imagine what would happen if she did read one. She'd probably turn red and pass out. Oh yeah, message from Mom. She says thanks for the pickles. It was nothing, you're welcome. How were they? Not too salty? They weren't that salty. Actually, oh, they weren't that salty. Actually, they had a pretty light flavor to them. It would have been fine, to be honest, to say they were good, but apparently I couldn't be that forthright. I'd like to ask something before that. Were you the one who picked them, Reina? Or was it your mom? Uh-huh. Why do you ask? Were they too salty? Her attitude completely changed as she began to panic frantically. Was it you, Reina, or was it your mom? Why are you asking who made them? Why? Depending on who made them, my opinion of them might change drastically. Huh? She counted frantically on her fingers, trying to remember the amount of salt she'd used to pickle them. It wasn't like I was trying to tease her, but I couldn't stop myself. Guys who take pleasure in this kind of thing are probably the worst. Guys like me. Reina nervously opened and closed her mouth over and over, trying to mutter a response. It was me. Delicious. Huh? Pretty good, just like the last ones. They went perfectly with the rice. Her face went bright red again. She was completely spacing out. It was truly a lot of fun to tease her. I pray that Reina never gets taken advantage of by some lowlife. Keeping at it, Reina. Keep at it, Reina. I'll train you until you handle it like an average person. Or so I decided for myself. Let's go. If we keep Mion waiting, we'll never hear the end of it. Seeing as she'd been spacing out otherwise, I called Reina back to reality so we could make our way to school. This strange, easily flustered girl is Reina Ryugu. I've only known her for about a month, but I've come to realize that it's not just her name that's strange. Yeah, she's fucking insane! She'd kill you the chance she gets. Michan! Ganora! I had to. Coming up the next rendezvous point, we saw another person waiting for us. Noticing us, she waved. Mion! Hey baby, how you doing? You're so sexy. Finally. Finally, you two are late. Usually you're the ones who late. Usually you're the one who's late. In sharp contrast to this diligent Reina, this one marched to the beat of her own drum. She's Mion Shinozaki. Sonozaki? For what it's worth, she's our senior and head of the class. Morning, Reina, and it's been a while, Kei-chan. How many years? I was only off 2 days. You don't say. You were so much cuter back then. Mion's gaze started at my chest, then dropped straight down, focusing on the point between my legs. So she was saying it was my crotch that was cuter back then? Before you ask, just to be clear, I've never actually tried to show it to her. I've grown quite splendidly. If you'd be surprised. Not only is he bigger, but he has a little mustache now. We're talking about his dick. Being so engorged with energy every morning is quite a problem, though. I'll introduce you next time, so be sure to greet him properly. Don't say next time. Right now it's just fine. How about letting the little guy get a breath of fresh morning air? I don't think I've ever heard talk so dirty. You could smell it fouling up the morning air before. Mion sure does act like an old man sometimes. Gotcha. Time for the big reveal. Hope you don't regret it. As my hand reached down for my fly, Reina began to ramble in a near panic. Hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Red-faced and flustered, Reina tried to play dumb, but it was obvious she knew exactly what we were talking about. How was it? Seeing the city again? Mion switched gears, dropped the dirty talk, and changed the topics to something more befitting to the pleasant morning. I only went for a funeral. I didn't have much time. So yeah, did you look for it? That thing I asked for? You're not listening at all. I just came back from a funeral. I didn't have time to look around in toy stores. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Toy stores and hobby shops are completely different, you know. It's really difficult to get Western stuff around here, after all. Is this about games again, Mi-chan? Mion nodded proudly as Reina giggled. Yep, I wanted Ki-chan to bring me back a Westport catalog, you see? Westport was short for Western Imported Games. Using that abbreviation did make it sound pretty geeky. You can just get them and send... You can just get them to send you one in the mail, can't you? Well, guess I have to now. I'm going to get another game full of hot action. This time, I'd like a game that's easy to understand. Mion is a board and card game enthusiast, and I hear she's collected quite a lot of different ones. According to Reina, Mion's room is kind of become a museum of domestic and foreign games. If there's a game you think I'd understand, let me play too. Huh, of course. If Kei-chan is up for it, I should warn you though, we're pretty tough. Just what I want. I play all sorts of games, I don't intend to lose. God, this is where it starts. This is where it all goes to hell. Whoa, then we'll let you in the group this time, I guess. Bristling with joy from head to toe, Reina looked back and forth between me and Mion. Mion gave her an affirmative wink and her expression sparked even further. This is where it starts. This is where everything goes to hell. I thought boys preferred playing outside more, so I figured you wouldn't want to. Reina laughed happily. From such a friendly conversation, you wouldn't think I have moved here less than a month ago. I understand that they did all they could to make a transfer student like me feel at home. I'll have to try harder to fit in, so they won't feel like they have to try to make me feel welcome. I feel like if I acted a bit more open than I usually am, it should probably be about right for this place. It's the games. The games are the thing that screw this anime up to hell. Hina Misawa was a really small village. Not only was there only one school, but there was only one class. That class encompasses all different grades and ages. There are about 30 students at different levels, and they all study in the same class. I'm told that long ago there used to be a bigger school building and they had actual separate classes. However, it seems that something happened that made it become a single class, and now it's stayed that way out of tradition. I was shocked at first, but humans adapt pretty quickly. I've already gotten quite used to it. The sound of children playing started right from the morning. With such a lively mood, and it felt more like a kindergarten than a proper school. Not that that was a bad thing. Mion, who had been walking in front of us up until then, suddenly let me take the lead, right in front of the classroom door. So I was meant to slide the door open and enter the room first. Huh. Too bad. I wasn't going to fall for that again. To think you'd give up the lead here. You meant for this to be a taste of my skills. Mion chuckled with a haughty smirk on her face. What is it, you guys? Step back, Reina. It's dangerous. She's here. Huh? Then Satoko-chan is. Her name is Satoko Hojiu. She was a disrespectful, impudent, bossy kid. The way she talks is annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up over just that. The real problem was this. Quite the obvious trap, a blackboard eraser wedged in the door. It's too obvious, Satoko. A haughty laugh came from beyond the door. Excellent, Kei-chan. I guess that means you win this round? No. This is Satoko we're talking about. I doubt this is it. After falling for such an intricate trap since the day I transferred, I no longer let my guard down. Satoko liked to combine a variety of traps. Traps that were simply there to bait you into the main one. Traps that relentlessly kept coming at you like a sadistic Rube Goldberg machine. The list goes on. As well as being clever, they almost never misfire. When you least expect it, she strikes. No escape, no time to relax. By the looks of it, this eraser is normal. No rocks or anything in it. I took a pretty heavy hit from a blackboard eraser loaded with rocks on my first day. So then why don't you just open the door and let it drop? That's what it is. That's what Satoko was after, making me focus on the attention upward, so I would lift my hand to the door. There were thumbtacks stuck to the sliding door handle with tape. A frightening trap. A potent and terrifying trap, concealed by using blackboard eraser. An impressive combination, Satoko, but in the end, nothing more than a trivial machinations of a child. Assured of my victory, I threw the door open and stepped into the room. I felt something strange at my ankle. It was similar to the sensation of a jump rope catching on my leg. By the time I realized she had me, hook, line, and sinker, I was already too late. I began to fall in an almost picturesque manner. Kei-chan, watch out! Instinctively reaching to Mion's shrilled warning, I twisted my body in midair before I landed on the floor. Ah! An inkstone filled to the brim was placed right where I would have landed. I shuddered to imagine the sensation I had landed square on it. Yeah, she is evil too. They're all evil. Everyone in this bloody town is evil. They will try to kill you on purpose, just for fun. They will kill each other, just for fun. My, what do we have here? A fair morning for you, Kei-chan. Kaichi-san, aren't we a lively one this morning? Still sprawled in an awkward position, I was greeted by a mocking voice. That was a step up from your usual trap, Satoko. I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. You're quite unlucky this morning. You little... Ah! It seems I had inadvertently sprained my back a little when I landed. Better than landing on that inkstone. A small hand gently rubbed my head. Pain, go away. The small dainty hand continued to gently stroke my head. You didn't sprain your back or anything, did you? If you rub it like this, the pain will disappear. I thought about asking how rubbing my head would help my back, but I didn't. It's not so much about what you actually do, it's the thought that counts. Yeah, thanks, Rika-chan. The pain's going away now. Rika. Yay, Rika-chan, good morning! Good morning to you, Reina. A good morning to all. Rika-chan greeted each of us with an adorable bow. It was infectious. Reina, Mion, and I bowed back. You're such a good kid, Rika-chan. So much better than Satoko. I glared over in her direction. Satoko was whistling while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact. I'm the very model of a good girl. A good girl wouldn't set those nasty traps. Nothing but lies and slander. Exactly what I picked up Satoko by the back of her collar. She looks like a misbehaved cat when I do this. But a cat wouldn't be setting traps. She's much harder to deal with. I'm sorry! Try saying that. If you don't say it... I cocked my index finger on my thumb, letting it tremble as I brought it closer to Satoko's forehead. I'm against violence. You don't have any proof. Just so you know, my forehead flick really hurts. Oh, just so you know, my forehead flick really hurts. It can split plywood right in half. Stop, get away from me, you beast! Don't say that in a way people will misunderstand. A small hand tugged from the back of my shirt. She's been lonely since you were gone for 2 days. Rika-chan really isn't just so... How could I do anything more after being told that? I gently released my grip on Satoko, who at this point was on her verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for the forehead flick. Aww. It doesn't bother me! You mustn't cry, Satoko. Keep on fighting, yeah? Rika gently petted the head of her prankster friend. You would never guess these two are the same age. I think Satoko could learn a thing or a million from Rika-chan. Rika-chan? Next time, set an even more amazing trap. Wait a minute. As she observed the scene, Reina's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon. How? Satoko-chan is crying. So cute! So cute! As she observed the scene, Reina's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon. Oh, I already read that. You can't just take them home. Huh? But they're so cute. You can't, no matter how cute they are. But just for a bit, it's fine. It's fine? Reina kept a cutesy face as she... outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. According to Mion, Reina is ridiculously weak to cute things and always tries to take them home. Objects or a person. Stealing is bad, but abducting people is even worse. Give it up. Then I can't just look? Just looking? That should be fine, right? Right? Reina swooned over Satoko's crying form. If a girl ever goes missing from Hina Misawa, it'll be forced to turn Reina into the authorities. Forgive me, Reina. I'll sure to bring you care packages when they put you away. The teacher's coming. Quickly, clean everything up. Satoko, the ink stain is yours, right? Just from Mion's single statement, the entire mood of the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad, but the thumbtack stuck to the door handle would keep an even bigger problem. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer myself. Even though Satoko was the only one who set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bedlam from before had been neatly tidied up. We made it in time! Rise, attention! Mion gave the morning commands. It's difficult being a teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. She has to teach something different to each one. But naturally, she ends up spending all her time with the younger kids. Reina and Mion, being in the highest grade in the class, end up mostly doing self-study. They even end up helping teach the younger kids, so it seems like they can never get their own studies. They're actually quite behind, where my studies have progressed too. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for the teacher and helping Reina and Mion with their studies. You're a pretty good teacher, Keiichi-kun. Easy to understand. Reina took a breather after finishing highlighting an important section. Teaching is making me lose confidence. It makes me aware of how shallow my understanding of the subject is. They say that to teach someone something, you need to understand it backwards and forwards. So while you're teaching us, you're getting it in your own practice. In contrast, the person over here is quite laissez-faire about things. For one, isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me? Look, Mion, this is for your own good. If you don't take this seriously, then there will be trouble later on with these marks. It's not like I'm aiming to go on a prestigious school. I'll be fine just as long as I pick up what I need to know for the entrance exams a little at a time. Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was a really different type of relaxed than somebody who already knew what was going to be on the entrance exams. Mi-chan, Ki-chan, Keiichi-kun is doing his best to teach us. We need to try hard too. You're such a good and honest kid, Reina. I'll make sure you guys get accepted into a good school. What? Thanks so much. Especially you, Reina. Private lessons, just the two of us. Private lessons? A puff of smoke shaped like a halo popped out of Reina's head. Exactly what kind of private lesson is she fantasizing about that makes her turn so red? I'd like to hear her play-by-play about the next time. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcards, she threw out a casual question. So, in the city, do you have to study this much? If you don't know at least this much, you can't get into a university. So you study just to get into a university? Well, yeah, basically. While knowing that this stuff won't ever come in handy in the future. Out there, you can't get into university as long as your attendance is good enough. Really? Study equals entrance exams. Having that basic law of the universe so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock. That is right. There aren't really enough people around here to warrant weeding them out in an exam. If anyone can get into university, then there's no need to get all uptight about this stuff, right? Well, that's true, but you should at least know the stuff that's common knowledge. This old geezer thinks that instead of wasting time studying pointlessly, you should be spending your precious teen years doing more meaningful things. It was too profound of a statement to simply laugh off. But since it was Mion, it probably didn't actually have that deep of meaning. In place of a chime, the sounds of the principal waving a handbell drifted through the classroom. Kei-chan, we're done. We're done! It's our wonderful lunchtime. In a complete 180 from her unmotivated state, Mion gave the commands that signaled the end of morning period. Oh shit, I tabbed out. Keiji-kun, let's have lunch. I might have been making a very troubled face. Reina smiled brightly at me. All right, let's eat. There seems to be a different cliques even within the class. Most of them were divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different, and we had both boys and girls. But we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Reina and Mion pushed their desks together so that they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Rika-chan were slowly lugging their desks over as well. Keiichi-kun, hurry, hurry! Reina waved over her chopsticks as an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunchboxes. Keiichi-san's lunchbox is mostly absurdly filled with nothing but bread crusts like some sort of destitute plebeian. Why don't you just know how to... Why don't you just show it to us? Come on. Come now. Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting. Well then, Representative Me, please give me the signal to start. At first this was kind of embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my lunchbox if somebody else was too slow. Our ages and genders may have all been different, but we were all friends. Let's eat! The sound of our little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully throughout the classroom. Really, though, I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. Of course there are other boys in class, but we're a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls, well, at least the girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everybody were free to pick to them. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mion noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As the fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch. My, isn't Sir Keiichi's lunch extravagant today? My, isn't Madame Satoko's lunch extravagant as well? The stewed stuff has a nice look to it, rather trendy. Buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks locked in a cross counter, stabbing into each other's lunch. My, how delicious. Oh, this taro is good. The stewed stuff is good too, even cold. After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile. I saved some from dinner last night. By the way, Satoko and Rika-chan's lunches are always the same. But it seems that Rika-chan makes it for the both of them every day. Rika-chan made this too? These taste like mom's home cooking. I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold, They were done by hand with a knife. That's not easy to do. 'Cause they're all insane. They know their way around a knife. I guess Rika-chan's just good at this sort of thing. She's really good at sewing, laundry, and stuff like that. Amazing, right? Amazing. Rika is quite exceptional in many ways. Ho ho ho, that's nothing for you to boast about. Reina's actually better at cooking than I am. Huh? Well, you know, it seems that the topic of conversation switched to Reina when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Reina's lunch really was the star of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Lena's lunchbox constantly. Everyone liked this one so much before, so I made it a lot this time. It's good, I hope. I hope? It's got high marks from me. Ah, Mion, you're taking too much. Ah, I tapped out again. Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out, trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Rika-chan reached over at the same time and struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Reina's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kind of bad that no one thought to leave any for Reina, but Reina seemed rather satisfied as she looked on. How did you like it? Isn't Reina-san an extremely good cook too? Quite different from Kaichi-san. I said that's nothing for you to boast about. You're not much different from Kai-chan, are Satoko? Can you tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower yet? Satoko's face went pale. Hey, I can't even tell the difference between... I can tell you the difference between broccoli and cauliflower, you know. Of course I can. I really can. It's really hard for her to lie. Kaiji-kun both taste good when they're boiled and topped with mayo, right? You shouldn't be picking on her. Mi-chan too. Reina hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Satoko. Well, just pretend it's a little home ec lesson. Now then, Satoko, what's this? Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in bacon. But that's asparagus. Mion made eye contact with me, and within 3 seconds, I had Rika-chan's mouth covered, holding a piece of bacon wrapped asparagus and giving her 2 choices. She's pretty terrible. The yellow one is cauliflower. No, wait, the green one is cauliflower. So which, Probably the yellow one is broccoli and the blue one is cauliflower. The green one is, Do you really know which is which? How about you just give up? I'd expected no less from the class representative, the oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. This is just a hunch, but being brought into a Shinozaki household must be quite an ordeal. I do know, I really do. Then answer the question. I know. She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age. God. Second! Reina entered a state of euphoria as Satoko bawled her eyes out. Reina was in a state of bliss as she rubbed her cheek against Satoko's head and smothered her. Really, a very content face. One that wouldn't care the world ended right then. It was that kind of smile. Reina! Mimi is picking on me! Cute! It's okay, Reina-chan. We'll be taking care of all those bad people you teased, my little sister. Whoosh, bam! It was like a flash of lightning. What was that just now? Both of Reina's fists shot out at supersonic speeds, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled spread eagle on the floor, staring up at the ceiling with matching welts on our faces. This is the first time you've ever gotten one, right? Today she went easy on us. Easy? You mean there's something harder than this? With that, Mion and I both lumped our heads back to the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful from when I'm within striking distance of Reina. See, Satoko-chan, I took care of them. Cute. I'm gonna take you home. Making sure Reina couldn't see, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Tisk, damn it all. Using Reina like a puppet. Reina-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word. No matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadows stretched off into the distance. Hey, Kochi-kun? Tomorrow, do you have plans or anything? Huh? It was such a direct question from Reina, I inadvertently blushed. And if it wasn't for a date, then I wouldn't do it for more subtly. Reina saw me lost for words and realized that I misunderstood, and turned red as well. No, I didn't mean it like that, you see. So apparently that wasn't what she meant. I'm guessing she wants to go down to the dump. I'm guessing that's what this is. But since it was always fun to see Reina in a panic, I went along with it a little. Oh, really? So what was it meant that way? Uh-huh. Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection. Keiichi-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Mi-chan? Unable to hold it back any longer, Mion slapped me on my back. I see, this old geezer never knew how to push your buttons like that. What is it? Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach while Reina flailed around, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well. Feeling a bit guilty, I ruffled Reina's hair. Kidding, sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one. A joke? Since when? Since when? About halfway through. Halfway? So Kei-chan, that means you weren't acting when he blushed at the start? Uh-huh, that means? It was only a momentary lapse where there was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her. Well, you see, saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. So, why are you asking me if I'm free tomorrow, Reina? Oh, what were we going to talk about? It had been so long that Reina had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me. It's just, Kei-chan, you probably can't find your way around Hina Misawa by yourself yet, can you? That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times, like we were playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell from up from down here. Yeah, I don't think I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school. Yes. So you see, tomorrow we're thinking of that Mi-chan and I could escort you through Hina Misawa to show you around. That would be a godsend, frankly. I was happy about the offer. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyways. If I'm free. If I was being stubborn, so as not to give a clear yes or no. Even though I was always it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say so up front. Kaji-kun, you're not free, perhaps? Perhaps? While Mion and I had rather sour back and forth, Reina peeked over at me hesitantly. Figured it'd been a bit too rough on her. I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me, I apologize. I'm free. Great. The trepidation disappeared from Reina's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now. Seems like there's quite a little difference between how cold you are to me compared to Reina, isn't there? It seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her compared to how quickly I agreed with Reina. But her being annoyed was very interesting, so I pushed Reina forward, speeding up our pace and leaving Mion behind. Let's go, Reina. Maybe it should be just the two of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mion behind. Huh? What? If Kaichi-kun is okay with that, then I'm the only one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Kaichi Mabara. It'd be great to see the two of us to go on a picnic together. Shouldn't we bring a basket, Reina? If we're bringing a basket, I'll make the food, maybe? Don't you ignore me too, Reina. I'll tell everyone that you two disappeared into the hotel district together. Ooh. Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Tomorrow is going to be so fun. Later, Kaichi-kun, Mi-chan, bye. Bye, Reina-chan! Reina bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion, sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. Are you alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys. Since you came, they've become sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it. It'd be easier if you'd stop saying stuff that makes Reina want to hit you. Or else this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the result might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion. You're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs. It felt like it was her knee, though. Could it be that we were hanging out with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Reina. You need to train up and have a rematch. Kei-chan, should you? This old geezer will root for you. You should. Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Reina's infallible technique. All right. This was a really, really great episode. You have received new tips. We're a mixed grade? We don't... what? Oh, okay, so this is where I can save and stuff. View new tips. We're a mixed grade. So, Reina, we're the same age? Yes, that's right. We're the exact same zodiac animal, too. Hey, now, it would be weird if we were the same age, but not the same zodiac animal. Okay. Let's just go ahead and save, then. Save. Oh, it doesn't seem like saving works. Oh God. Okay, well, I guess I'll just end that there. Alright, that was the very first episode of Higurashi When They Cry, the visual novel. I thought there was going to be more of, voice acting or something. I didn't expect me to have to read all of that much. Ooh, that was an hour long. That was really, really long. Continue. Okay, so I have to actually go back and play that all the way over again. Because I didn't know I had to save there. So, that was pretty good. I'm really, really enjoying this. Nothing bad has happened yet, and that's done on purpose, I believe, just to get you into it. But it's gonna get dark soon, I believe. It's gonna get dark soon. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please remember to hit the like button and also subscribe to become a Knight of the Round Table today. And as always, I will see you guys later.